Good morning, everyone, and a big welcome to everyone who's attending today's webinar. We will be covering a full introduction to Dynamics 365, overall overview of the platform itself, and we'll be covering ways in which it can enhance your members and staff's overall experience. We've brought together a quite wide-ranging group of experts and individuals to cover an in-depth overview of the platform, Business Central, Dynamics 365, all of the elements which we'll go over as part of some case studies. We'll go through some real world experiences, and we'll also go improved ways of working and enhancing engagement with members and staff. Just as an overview for us and introducing some of the hosts today. So we've got Pax8, who are one of the leading, if not the leading, Dynamics and Business Central cloud solutions providers in the UK and in Europe and also in the US. And we've also got ourselves, so Reliable Networks. I'm the head of sales here at Reliable Networks, and we work together with Pax8 and Cloud9 and wide-ranging partners to bring together best-in-class solutions, cloud transformation services. So I'm just going to let somebody else in. And also Cloud9. So we brought Kurtz along from Cloud9, who has got real-world experience, delivery experience in going through the Dynamics 365 stack, has worked with many organizations in the hospitality sector on deployments and also services. Just a bit of hygiene. So the agenda itself will be, I'll be handing over shortly to Shannon and Henrietta from Pax8 to go over the back-end operations pieces, Business Central, how it can improve services, enhance experience, and then we'll also be introducing Kurt, who will be going over the full member experience and real-world case studies, so deliveries that they've been through within the private member space, club space, and also hospitality space. And then I'll be also covering more of an overview of deployments, how to manage service deployments, and also some cloud transformation services and how we can work with you as well. We've got a Q&A session. So if you do have any questions, the Q&A should be enabled, and we've also pre-prepared some questions if everybody wants to, some from experience. And then we do have, at the end of the session, we'll be going over a incentive that we put together with Pax8 and Cloud9 to give everybody who's attending the event a assessment service, so you'll get a full picture of how Dynamics can work for your business, how Business Central can improve services, and also some outcomes as well around what it could look like from a transformation piece and the overall project delivery. So I will introduce Shannon and Henrietta, and then I will sit in the background while they go through Business Central. So thanks everyone once again for joining.
Perfect. Thanks, Matt. Henrietta's just going to get her slides up there. Just for a bit of context and a bit more about myself and Henrietta. So as I mentioned, we come from the Pax8 world, and Matt's done a really good job of kind of explaining who Pax8 are. We are the leading global marketplace of the future. So we work with partners like Reliable Networks and Cloud9, helping their customers grow and thrive and protect their businesses with access to the latest technology. Henrietta and I work with businesses every single day regarding Dynamics 365. We also actually come from hospitality backgrounds ourselves, so we understand the ins and outs of how they work, and now we can bring a bit of a different perspective from the kind of technology side as well. So just some really kind of useful background there. So a bit more about Pax8. Now, as I mentioned, we are a global marketplace, so we do focus on more than Dynamics 365, but for myself and Henrietta, that is our day in, day out. Dynamics 365 is our bread and butter. Our goal with Dynamics 365 is to make the very best of Microsoft technology simple to implement, effective and accessible to organizations so they can innovate and transform. Now, we will be going shortly into Business Central specifically, but I want to provide a bit of context first. We want to make Dynamics 365 easy to understand and implement for your business. Something that I think is really important to note when you think about Dynamics is that digital transformation through Dynamics is a road that's well traveled for hundreds and thousands of businesses. Microsoft solutions are the future of your business. We introduce businesses every single day to the world of Dynamics in lots of different industries, including those in the hospitality sector, to enable them to use Dynamics solutions to transform their business. Now, to provide a bit of context before we jump into the specific solutions, I want to talk about what Dynamics 365 really is. It'd be really helpful for us and the team here today if you could let us know in the chat how familiar you are with Dynamics 365. Is this your first introduction to the stack of solutions? Have you maybe used solutions before, seen a bit of information about them? Just let us know, that'd be great. So just to give you some information, Dynamics 365 is what I like to explain a bit of an umbrella term. It contains a stack of intelligent business applications. These are individual solutions helping you manage various different business operations from sales, marketing, finance, customer service, and supply chain. The individual solutions are designed to help transform and enhance your core business processes, enabling you to simplify operations, improve customer engagement, and also make data-driven decisions. One thing I want to touch on is it's a common misconception that Dynamics 365 is just one solution that covers everything. That isn't the case, and I'm going to go into a bit more about that in a second. Today, we'll be discussing two solutions within the Dynamics stack that can hugely benefit those in the hospitality industry. The one that myself and Henrietta will be looking into is Dynamics 365 Business Central, which is finance and ERP system. And then Kurt from Cloud9 is focusing on Dynamics 365 sales, including their tailored Dynamics 365 for membership. These systems can address many of the challenges that you have in your industry and with current systems that you might be using, like inadequate reporting, member and user experience, integration challenges, and limited scalability. Something else to think about when you're looking at Dynamics is there's kind of two sides of the coin. There's the system itself and the functionality that that can offer you, but there's also how partners can help you implement these. There are different ways to implement dynamic solutions, from kind of modular, more out-of-the-box standard approach, all the way over to what we call a more kind of traditional scope-led implementation that's tailored and customized for your business. Now, this is done so partners can meet you where you are on your journey and make sure you're getting exactly what you need from new systems. Now, overall, and I know that Henrietta is going to go into a bit more of this specifically regarding Business Central, but some of the key benefits of the dynamic stack solutions include on any device at any time, so you've got information on your fingertips, data mobility, so you've got access to real-time data, making data-driven decisions based on dynamic data, not static data. Scalability, so Dynamics 365 grows with your business, allowing you to add or remove applications as needed. Integration with other Microsoft solutions, such as the Microsoft 365 Stack, Azure, and Power BI, creating a more unified experience. And where would we be today if we weren't going to talk about AI as well? So AI and analytics, leverage built-in AI and analytics to gain insights and again, make data-driven decisions. Now, something I want to touch on is Dynamics 365 what we would say is a one-stop shop? You might be coming from a world of using systems like Jonas Club software or ESP that you look at as being a one-stop shop for your business needs. They cover a lot of elements of what you need to run your business, from the likes of membership management, CRM, finance and billing, point of sales, and stock management. They may seem okay and fine to begin with, but oftentimes you start to see weaknesses and gaps in certain areas, removing that efficiency you need. You may start facing challenges like, again, inadequate reporting with your stock, being unable to see actionable insights from your customer data to make strategic decisions, frustrating your back office system users to generate those valuable reports that you need. You may be dealing with lack of automation, dealing with repetitive tasks that are prone to error. You may find that members aren't getting the best experience when it comes to managing bookings and accessing services. Now, your initial reaction may be to replace like for like, one-stop shop for another one. Just because you can doesn't always mean you should. Now, whilst there isn't a single system in the dynamic stack that covers everything in one place, from membership to finance and point of sales and customer relationship management, the power of dynamic solutions lies in its connectivity and integration capabilities. Moving into the dynamic stack is a journey of digital transformation that you can take at your own pace. Begin with where you find your biggest challenges lie with your current systems and chip away at it, slowly but surely. Throughout that journey, what you'll end up with is a connected ecosystem of applications, which are the best of everything from finance to sales and so on, rather than being strong in some areas and weak in others. Now, before we move on to Business Central specifically, I want to take a step back. When we're talking about dynamics, what you need to think about is, are you actually ready to move business applications and digitally transform with dynamic solutions? Here are a couple of things to think about when you're determining that readiness. Are your current systems more than 5 years old? Technology, as you know, is moving fast, and outdated systems can leave you vulnerable and may not give you the best functionality you need to be as operationally efficient as you can be. The benefit of the dynamic stack is that the systems are dynamic, so functionality is ever growing and changing. You can scale and change the systems with different add-ons and customizations. Are you regularly doing workarounds in the system to meet your daily needs and daily tasks that's slowing you down? Do your current applications pose potential security gaps, leaving your business open to cybersecurity threats? Are your current systems causing performance and reliability issues, making performing those day-to-day tasks difficult? And I've mentioned it a couple of times, but how accessible is your data currently? Do you have access to real-time dynamic data that you can make strategic decisions with, or is it mission impossible to gain those valuable insights currently? And what about maintenance cost for your business? What does that look like? Do the benefits outweigh these applications, outweigh the burden of keeping them around? So with that, I'm going to pass over to Henrietta. Hopefully that's provided some context about the wider dynamic stack, and it'll help you understand the two solutions that we're going to be discussing today.
Thank you, Shannon. And that leads me really nicely to talk about the current system limitation that you might be experiencing right now. Maybe talk a little bit about my own experience. And I have been in a business for over 20 years, and I worked for over 7 years in hospitality industry. We had one system for invoicing, another for inventory, and multiple spreadsheets trying to hold everything together. But when your tools don't talk to each other, your people end up doing the talking. That means more manual work, more chances for mistakes. So the question you need to ask is your current system helping you grow, or is your current system helping you just survive? And it's the new technology-driven generation willing to work for companies where technology and data isn't readily available. Older systems often live on one server, in one office, and sometimes only works for one person at a time. But that's not exactly ideal if your team's on the go or working remotely. Do you have reporting issues? So getting simple answers like, how much did we sell last month can be really challenging. You might have a poor customer relationship management, no single customer view, and it's leading to inconsistent service. You might have limited vendor inventory visibility, which causes difficulties in tracking procurement, inventory levels, and vendor contract, or even simple lack of integrations like actually connecting your Outlook or Excel into your current system. Outdated systems will slow you down. It will frustrate your team, and it will limit your ability to grow. They are not just inconvenient anymore, they're costing you money, and potentially it does cost you employee churn. So there is a question. What is your current system actually costing you? In time, in productivity, or even missed opportunities? Let's talk about how Dynamics 365 can really enhance your business growth. First, it helps you understand customers better. You get a clearer picture of what they are buying, how they are interacting with your business, and what they might do next. That means better service, stronger relationships, and more repeat business. It will improve your financial visibility, which I will talk about to you in a minute about how Business Central can help you do that. It will offer real-time insights, and you will know exactly how your business is performing at any moment. You can spot trends, track costs, and make confident decisions faster. You can also improve your products and services because now you will be working with data, which means you will be not guessing. Dynamics 365 will give you the data to refine what you offer and deliver more value. And of course, the increased team collaboration. With tools that integrate across departments, your finance, sales, operations, and even customer service teams can finally get on the same page. That means less back and forth between them and more getting stuff done. If you haven't heard of Business Central yet, don't worry, you are not alone. What is Business Central? Business Central is Microsoft all-in-one multi-language, multi-currency business management solution that is designed for small to mid-sized businesses that outgrow their entry-level business solutions or are replacing outdated legacy systems. It is tested and tried by over 40,000 small and medium businesses and over 4 million businesses worldwide. Business Central brings together all your key operations. As you can see on my screen, finance, sales, purchasing, inventory, projects, and much more in one connected unified platform. Imagine you have one platform where you can connect all your data, people, and processes. So you can work smarter, faster, and with fewer mistakes. It's cloud-based, as Shannon mentioned, which means you can access it from anywhere. It's great for on-the-go tasks like approvals, quick checks, or managing sales and customer info while you are out and about. And because it's part of Microsoft family, it works seamlessly with tools like Outlook, Excel, and Teams. But what really makes Business Central stand out is the flexibility. Whether you're a retail shop or your service business or manufacturer or golf club, it adapts to fit your processes, not the other way around. It is a modular application. You can start small and add modules as needed, customizing it for your business needs as your business grows. This system will meet you exactly where you are with your business journey. As you can see on my screens, the key features such as finance, sales, service, operations is designed to grow with you. So you're not just buying software for now. Whether you got 1 person, 10 people, or 100 people in your business, Business Central can grow with you. You are not buying software to where you are investing in a solution that will take you where you want to be. Now, let's talk about one of the coolest parts of Business Central ecosystem, which I love, is Microsoft App Source. Think of App Source like the app store for your business. Business Central is already powerful, out-of-the-box solution. But every business has its own unique needs, and that's where App Source comes in. Whether you are looking for tools to help with payroll, advanced reporting, document management, or even industry-specific features like POS integration, there is probably already an app for that. These apps are built to work seamlessly with Business Central. No messy integrations, no starting from scratch, just plug and play. Plus, they are vetted by Microsoft and developed by trusted partners. So you might be asking, why should I be considering to move into new ERP system? If you are like most growing business, patchwork of systems, maybe spreadsheets, finance tool, or something for inventory, and suddenly nothing quite talks to each other. It just does not do the job. It doesn't scale with you. It doesn't grow with you, and it just limits your business and your employees in performing tasks. And I understand it may be daunting prospect of moving all your data, processes, and all people to new ERP system. It comes with investing time, it comes with investing money, and also training your people. But ask yourself a question. What impact will it have on your business and your employees if you don't move to new ERP system? If you continue working the way you do, will you grow or will you just survive? And will your employees stay or leave to thriving competitor? I will let you decide. Let me share a quick example from golf club scenario and how certain applications can impact different stakeholders in a business. There can be a mid-sized private golf club with multiple revenue streams, membership fees, pro shop sale, events, food and beverage, and services. They're running everything through a mix of outdated systems and spreadsheets. They're all disconnected systems. The finance team spent hours reconciling data each month. The club manager has no clear view of profitability across departments, and they cannot track spending per member or forecast seasonal cash flow. If they were to move into Dynamics 365, they will be able to integrate their point of sale systems from bar and pro shop. They can streamline their membership billing. They set up real-time dashboard to track revenue by activity, for example, like golf rounds, lessons, retail, events, all in one place. The general manager can see at glance how each part of the club is performing. The finance team can cut their month-end close to time and a half. And they finally had the visibility to make smarter decisions, like adjusting tea time pricing and event packages based on actual data and not guesswork. So how can you boost productivity with Business Central and integration of your already used Microsoft 365 tools? Let's start with Outlook. You can actually manage Business Central tasks like creating quotes, checking customer balances, or sending invoices without ever leaving your inbox. How does that sound? It saves so much time because everything is right there while you're talking to a customer or supplier, so there is no switching tabs or logging into another system. What about Excel? Yes, this is the big one. You can export data directly from Business Central into Excel with just click, make your edits, and then push the changes right back into Business Central. So if you are someone who likes to work in spreadsheets for quick analysis or reporting, you can still do that, but without copy and paste headaches or version control issues. Another fantastic integration there with Microsoft Teams. With Teams integration, you can share Business Central data with colleagues right inside the chat or in a meeting. If you need to look up customer order status while you're on a call, you can do that too. It makes collaboration super easy because everyone can see and act on the same data without having to dig through emails or files. So what is great about it? It's natural. You are not learning 3 new systems. You're enhancing the tools your team already uses every single day. And let's talk about something every business needs, but not every system delivers well: reporting and analytics. With Dynamics 365 Business Central, everything is real time and connected and visual. You can track key metrics like cash flow, sales performance, inventory levels, or project costs as they happen, not weeks later. The data is always up to date because it's pulling directly from your system. The best part is built in. You get interactive dashboards, charts, and financial reports right out of the box. So instead of wondering how business is performing, you will know. And not just at the end of the month, but every single day. Okay, now let's talk about how Dynamics Business Central becomes even more powerful when it connects to something called Power Platform. Power Platform is a set of Microsoft tools: Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and now even Power Virtual Agents that helps you analyze data, build custom apps, and automate tasks. But what does it mean when it connects to Business Central? Power BI, you can turn financial and operational data into live interactive dashboards. So you are not just looking at numbers, but actually seeing insights. You can use Power Automate to create workflows. For example, you can set up alert when your customer goes over the credit limit, or automatically notify your purchasing team when stock levels drops. You can use Power Apps to build simple mobile-friendly apps that connect to Business Central. And with Power Virtual Agent, you could even build a chatbot to help employees or customers get quick answers from Business Central data without needing to call someone. Now, you might be wondering what exactly is Copilot in Business Central. Well, think of Copilot as your AI-powered assistant, built right into Business Central. With Copilot, you can ask questions like, how are my sales performing this month? Or what is my inventory level for item X, and get instant answers. You can get recommendations to improve your business, like identifying trends or suggesting cost savings opportunities based on your data. And you can automate routine tasks like generating reports, creating invoices, or sending reminders. Copilot learns over time to give you even better insights and suggestions. So, what are the business impact and benefits if you did move into Business Central? 30% reduction in manual administrative tasks, improve financial accuracy, increase vendor efficiency, better customer experience, faster decision-making, and enhanced team collaboration. That brings me to the end of my session on Dynamics Business Central, and I hope you have now a better sense of how Business Central can help streamline your business operation, provide real-time insights, and scale with your growth. I've talked about lots of powerful features today: your integrations, automations, analytics, and even AI-powered Copilot. But at the end of the day, the heart of it all, Business Central is about helping you focus on what matters most, making smart decisions, work more effectively, collaborate with your teams, drive your business forward. And the most important thing, staying ahead of your competitors in this very fast moving market. I would love for you to take a moment and think about this. What is one challenge in your business that you feel Business Central could help solve today? And with that, I will move on and pass to Kurt so he can tell you a little bit more how to enhance customer experience.
Perfect. Thank you, Henrietta. That was brilliant. A really good overview of all of the different applications and what the Microsoft stack can bring. What the guys at Reliable have asked me to talk around today is just a little bit more real life experience. And just before we kick off with that, just a very quick slide on who Cloud9 are. So we're a business who've been around for 15 years now, and Dynamics and the Power Platform is effectively the only thing that we do. So we work alongside Reliable and also Pax8 to actually do the implementation of Microsoft Dynamics and also the Power Platform to hospitality businesses as well as other industries. And we've delivered over 1,000 Dynamics solutions in our 15 years. So yeah, that's 1,000 goes at getting it right, if you like. So that's, you know, many times of working with various different businesses in the hospitality sector. So we can bring a lot of best practice advice to the table and give you ideas on what other clients and other clubs and other leisure facilities have done really well, and maybe what hasn't worked as well as well. We're an accredited BizApps partner, which is really the old gold membership, as it were. So we are an accredited business application solutions partner, and we're a team of just over 40 people down on the south coast, Brighton, like this behind me. And we're really passionate about delivering everything with UK-based resource. So all of our projects are delivered by our UK-based team. And really our USP in the market is that we offer a very unique client success care package, which is our ongoing post-project support package after you go live. And the big piece of that is we offer unlimited ad hoc training to all of your users. So as Henrietta was talking about, there's so many fantastic things that Dynamics can bring to you. And one of the art of, if you're a leader on this call, looking at how you can implement change and implement potentially a Dynamics solution into your business, one of the key things is going to be making sure that your users have the skills and the knowledge to be able to use these tools as they're intended. So we're a firm believer that giving an ongoing training resource from an unlimited basis to your users really drives that adoption and ultimately ROI for Dynamics in the business. So enough about us. What I wanted to do was talk around sort of three main areas of what we see in the hospitality space, and try and bring some of these solutions effectively to life. So one of the first sort of main challenges that we see is around using marketing and using communications to communicate to your members and to your guests and so on and so forth. And we often see that many of our customers who come to us, they are starting their journey with blanket communications. So they send out communications to all of their members or all of their guests in exactly the same way. So these are generic, they don't resonate with members, reduces the engagement, and often they feel that, you know, members are really just ignoring their messages. They don't feel that they're relevant. So they're missing key updates or missing promotions. This can lead to a lot of member fatigue, you know, so they're receiving all of these comms and they're perhaps missing the most important ones, and they get buried underneath these irrelevant messages. And what that can really do is impact your campaign success, but also impact cost efficiency. So many marketing tools are based on how many emails that you send out, or, you know, so if you're just sending the same thing to everybody, you're obviously increasing that cost and you're increasing the effort you're putting in, not necessarily getting the right output. And really this could impact your brand, and this could impact how you're perceived from your membership. So we see that really impersonal messaging can create a sense that you as an organization don't necessarily understand the value that you're bringing to your members and your customers. So that reduces the loyalty and reduces, you know, repeat visits, repeat membership, and repeat spend ultimately. So, you know, how does Dynamics potentially counter that? So one of the areas that Henrietta was going over was the customer insights module of Dynamics. So this is the marketing engine. And this marketing engine builds out totally off the back of all of your membership data. So firstly, you've got to think about the data profiling that you have. And Dynamics gives you that opportunity to profile your members in all manner of different ways with whatever fields and whatever values that you might want. And this is then how you can use that to manage what sort of communications that they receive. So first and foremost, we must be compliant. And I'm sure you've all heard about and probably had nightmares about things like GDPR. So we have to manage things like subscriptions and preferences, which is something that Dynamics can do as part of this data model. But then really growing on from there in terms of having automated journeys and automated content, but personalized. So thinking about what are the different stages that a member might want to receive communications, like a welcome email, you've been with us now for 3 months, let's have a survey to see how you're getting on, or based on what they're spending or what classes that they're doing as part of your organization and your club, they can then receive some offers and some further information on what's useful for them. And this comes from a 360 view that is very tailored to your business and your organization in terms of what data model and what profiling that you would like to do. And that gives you the opportunity to build those segmented marketing campaigns. And it's very common for marketing teams that work with us who are effectively delivering, many different campaigns to many different user groups and user profiles, as it were, at the same time. And where this will all come to the fore is how do we then use data, whether that's AI insights or general reporting and sentiment analysis, what campaigns are working, what campaigns are not, and that gives us an understanding to know what do we build on and what do we make more of next time to make our campaigns more efficient and also increase the loyalty and the NPS of our members as well. So the second piece is around a lot of manual data and manual processes, and most commonly that we see with membership organizations and clubs is around manual renewals. And this can often lead to a poor member experience. So, how many people I'm sure on this call taking it through that membership renewal process, whether it's communications, getting a signed renewal document, various different things, even just internal knowledge of who's coming up for membership renewal. A lot of that we see can be manual, and it can then lead to a slow process, and it can lead to poor membership experience. So what we would often also see is that leads to things like human error. So Henrietta was very much right in terms of a lot of customers are still storing all of their members on spreadsheets, and they're storing on spreadsheets, and there's various versions of these spreadsheets in the business. So this can lead to human error, and human error is often something that impacts the membership and impacts the member experience, receiving the same communication twice or not receiving accurate information based on when the membership is up for renewal. And this can ultimately, we're all here as a business, this can relieve to a reduction of membership revenue. And that's not something we want as a club. We want to grow that membership. We want to grow our revenue. That means we can invest in the club. It means we can invest in the experience. And from a reporting perspective, we speak to many CFOs and finance managers who have no understanding of how they can forecast what new memberships are coming in, what that membership renewal percentage might look like for next year. So how do we change that? Oh, my apologies. So how do we change that? So automation and insight. So firstly, many of our clients work with us to automate the renewal process, and that comes from communications. So setting deadlines of when communications need to go out, whether that's a 3-month before window or a 1 month. And then perhaps if we're really reaching the stage of critical renewal, that then is a task that's created for the salesperson to be able to actually give the member a call and make sure that renewal happens. We also want to provide the ability to our members to self-serve. So this is the ability to log in. They can have their own membership area. And then what does that membership area mean in your club and your environment? So whether that's, booking tea times, whether that's booking clubs for your children, whether it's booking the creche, whether it's booking, fitness classes, whatever it might be, giving the member the rich experience where they can actually go in, they can book a new club or book a new class, and if they need to, they can edit that based on some certain rules that you might put in. So we're seeing a real trend now of members and customers wanting to self-serve rather than having to actually call and speak to people as well. You might also need to offer payments as part of that portal. So you might not offer everything including in your membership. There might be some upsell opportunities. So often these portals will have seamless payment integrations and payment gateways. And then again, what does this data drive to us? So how can we use AI? How can we use our forecasting to understand what are the trends? What are the most common classes that are booked? What are the classes that members typically book, so we can get an understanding of upfront revenue? And what we also often see is that clubs have different tiers of membership. And based on that, they can actually provide the opportunity for their members to be able to enjoy different levels of service, whether that's earlier booking times or whether that's additional classes, or early stage bookings or offers in the restaurant. So we're not just providing one blanket experience to the member, it's often driven by which level of membership that they are as well. And then the final thing is customer service. And this is something that we see very commonly in the hospitality space, is that they feel that their NPS and their feedback is often reduced by slow customer service and slow responses. So things like slow responses to bookings, again, whether that's a table booking, whether that's a class booking, or it's just a general inquiry. We do a lot of work with hospitality businesses around building automated communications and feedback. And that can come in a few ways, from just, yes, thank you, we've received your booking, we'll be back in touch, or actually your booking has been made, here's an automated response. But also actually with query management and using the Power Virtual Agents that Henrietta was talking around, is actually building bots to be able to respond without human interaction. So that means it can be faster, it can be built off the back of knowledge, and we can really look to enhance that NPS. What we're often seeing as well, because I'm sure everyone's been affected recently by the national insurance increase, there's a lot of efficiency view of how do we make that better across the team. So being able to reduce the staff workload, the human interactions, being able to make sure that our people are more efficient with the time that they have, and ultimately give more of that time that they're saving back to their members and their guests as well. So a few ways of how we do this. So we've spoken about automated responses. We can also utilize Copilot within Dynamics to actually help us prioritize. And that could be based on things like VIPs or the top membership tier, various different things from there. And what a really common requirement now is to have a unified communication platform inside of Dynamics. So we've spoken about portals, which is self-service, but a unified comms platform would include obviously email, phone call, which are sort of your standard communication channels, but branching that out into things like WhatsApp, social messaging, live chat, giving your members as many different ways and opportunities to communicate with you, and then storing all of those communications in one single place so everybody can see. So we've got a couple of examples of how we've done this before for membership or hospitality customers. So the first one to talk about is a private members club based in London. They've actually got a club in London and also Dubai as well. So they came to us with a main challenge where they relied on spreadsheets really heavily. So they actually had Jonas in place, but they found a lot of workarounds with Jonas because it didn't have the ability to be customized or tailored to what they need. So they had Jonas, but they also had a number of spreadsheets and workarounds, and that was giving them a real headache in terms of what was the live data, what was the single view of the customer, and the systems that they had were trying to manage multiple clubs, but it failed to consolidate at that sort of central level. So they wanted to branch that membership out to give them access across both locations across the world. And that often resulted in duplicate records, duplicate membership, and duplicate data, which ultimately had a bad impact on the membership. So we put in a dynamic sales solution for their core membership management, and that gave them a one single view of their members, their member profile, what they were doing in the clubs, their payment details, invoicing, and so on and so forth. So imagine looking at your member and just knowing everything that there is to know about that particular member and the value that it can bring. They use 7 Rooms as a hospitality platform to manage all of their food and beverage, as it were. So this managed their table bookings, their EPOS, and that really drove the member profile to be able to see, which wines the members liked, or which food that they liked, so they could then generate really great offers and incentivize that marketing message. We did a full data migration from Jonas. So as Henrietta said, don't be scared by data migration. In actual fact, it's a fantastic time to look at your data and look how you can cleanse it and make it better. So it's a really great housekeeping time if you are looking to move systems. Business Central was put in for that finance side. So actually the management of invoicing, payments, MTD, tax, and so on and so forth. One of the newest things that we did for them, which was really cool, was built them a solution with Power Apps for swiping in and out. So they had a membership card with a QR code with a Power App solution reading this. So they actually had a live check-in to know when the members entered the club and when they left the club. And again, that really helped them because they then built out an SMS and a WhatsApp marketing campaign for when those members were in the club to be able to pass them offers and pass them info about what was happening at the club on that day. So a really fantastic solution. And we also did some ROI stats with them as well, which, as you can see on the screen, they were really positive in terms of increased member retention, member acquisition as well. But most importantly for them, it was an increase of membership satisfaction as well. And I know I'm running out of time here, so Matt's probably looking at me saying, be quick, but another area where we've worked fantastically well is with a golf and country club. So this is a golf club and spa in the UK. They've got a championship golf course, but they've also got a members health club and spa facilities as well. Similar story. We see this an awful lot, and if you guys are resonating with the use of Excel, we hear you. We're ready to help you move away from Excel and work around. So disparate Excel files. But one of the big things for them was they were having a problem with members and non-members conflicting around what tee times were available. So what they had was no capability to say that these people could book tee times and these people couldn't. So we worked with them to implement a solution with Intelligent Golf, which is a tee time booking piece of software that then enabled their members and also priority members, because they had a different tier, that were able to then book tee times at the particular time that they were supposed to. So again, dynamic sales was put in for the membership and integration with Intelligent Golf around the tee times. They enabled a live chat as part of their booking software, so they could actually interact with the pro shop if they wanted to, and we had some automated responses around when the course opens or when it's waterlogged and various different things as well. So that was really neat, taking away that human interaction. And they integrated with Lightspeed, which is another really popular sort of EPOS and F&B solution. So again, that enabled them to build the profile of what their members were doing while they're in the club to enhance that member messaging as well. There's a little case study from Microsoft, so they like us hopefully, which is great. And then the final thing is, how can we help you understand how Dynamics can really support your organization moving forward? So the reason I reference Microsoft is they are very generous. And at the moment, until the end of their financial year, which is in the end of June, they're offering a funded discovery workshop. So this means that you can work with us to firstly, us understand your business in more detail, but also build the knowledge and confidence and understanding of your stakeholders as to what Dynamics could offer back to you. So we do a couple of hour workshop with you. We do a detailed write-up of the findings, and that findings includes a roadmap, so a suggested sort of step-by-step, phase-by-phase approach as to what you could achieve by using the dynamic stack, which Henrietta went over just a little while earlier. And that write-up also gives you an understanding of costings as well. So thinking about subscriptions, licenses, and also upfront implementation as well. So, let's use Microsoft's money, guys. It may not be there forever. So a great opportunity to spend some time with some hospitality experience solution architects to help you understand more about the value of Dynamics and what that could bring to your organization. And that's it from me. Thanks very much for listening. I'm going to hand back to Matt.
Thank you, Kurt. Let me just get my slide deck back open, 2 seconds. So what I wanted to do, just as a follow-up, and I mean, everybody's gone through it very detailed, how we can improve experience, how we can improve members' interactions, the marketing side, and just bring all the teams together through one platform. So what I just want to do is cover a bit about Reliable Network. So some of you, I know some already work with us who are in this, viewing this webinar, and also some that potentially have looked at us in the past. But where we come into, we've been going for 20 years, just over 20 years. We've got a UK-based service team. We've got a service desk based in London, and we do provide a wide-ranging services across the tech stack. Now, we are a Microsoft house. We focus mainly on the modern workplace side, but we do also provide cybersecurity services. So some of that will be Microsoft Stack, others will be the likes of Sentinel-1, and we also provide SOC services. So SOC is effectively a fully managed 24/7 security operations center to react and also resolve any potential security issues. We also provide cloud transformation services and digital transformation. So what that means is we can take disparate legacy systems, the likes of on-prem infrastructure, and then we will take an approach where we view the right approach. So whether that be a serverless piece or moving to the cloud, whether that's moving to Azure, and whether that's a hybrid system where we keep some systems on-prem and then we take some of the systems that need to be, or in a most efficient way from a cost perspective and also a process side of things, to the cloud. And then lastly, I think you'll probably hear most organizations say they work with AI and automation now within our space, but we do have some real world case studies where we've gone into organizations, taken a problem and then delivered a solution using automation. So be that Power Platform, as Kurt's touched on and Henrietta has as well, whether that's taking the right solution, so whether that's automating things like a new starter process, a new member process, or whether that's levers. We've got experience of taking small to medium life size organizations through that process. And with AI, we were one of the first organizations to be approached by Microsoft in the UK to look at Copilot and how it can be deployed across organizations in the most effective way. And what I also want to touch on really, and as I've stated, we help organizations derive value from technology. So we don't just take the approach of Microsoft is the best solution. We do review and say, right, there might be a better fit. We'll review that with you and then go through that plan. Again, a lot of our proposals and delivery and projects are bespoke. We don't just go boilerplate. We do like to understand the problem and then come to the best outcome for you. And then some of our recent customer stories and case studies. So I know a couple of the businesses might be on this call already, but recently we've helped the Lansdowne Club with a full network transformation project. So that was taking legacy networks, upgrading to next-gen firewalls, improving the whole experience throughout the club for everybody. So everybody's got access to networks, and we also provided a full monitoring management service for that. For Clarence UK, we've helped and worked with them to deliver a full cloud transformation. So going from legacy systems to M365 to public cloud, to also some pieces around end user and on-site engagement where we've improved network connectivity, and we've gone for a whole transformation piece with them. London Golf Club as well. We've recently gone through one of the cloud transformation projects which I discussed to take employee efficiency. So whether that was collaboration, so introduction of cloud-based Excel documents and things like that, we've gone through a whole project with them. And also recently with the Travellers Club, we've gone through multiple projects and re-engaging with them on the support and how it operates to reduce ongoing IT spend and to also improve their experience with IT from a staff and member experience side of things. And what we've gone through, and I just wanted to just demonstrate how we've worked in the past together from Pax8, Cloud9 and Reliable, just around the 4 pillars of adoption. So again, having that vision and strategy, we will work with you to define that, getting to the point where we're working on outcomes. And then risk, so how we manage the risk. So looking at where we can have the most impact. So whether that be finance initially, whether that be the frontline teams, whether that be back-end systems, the integration of applications, and then the full wraparound around adoption. So how we would get to the point of deployment in the most efficient and effective way, which is part of that whole process and assessment piece, which we've got a little bit more detail around later on in the webinar. And then just to cover general change adoption. So it's something that myself, having worked in the industry for a long time now, I've come across this many times of how do you adopt change in the most effective way? And the three pillars we look at initially are the data side and security. So how do we, is it secure currently? How do we secure it more efficiently? And then how do we get the data from either a legacy system, a disparate way of working, so multiple Excels, and then how do we take that to a more efficient way? And then the complexity of integration. So how do we take all of these services and platforms and then move them into a platform like Dynamics or M365 or many of the other services we can provide and make it less complex and more user friendly. And then the main part, which I think most people have come across within management, within adoption of new services and new tools, is how do you actually get everybody to accept the change and how do you bring people along that journey? So it's more training, documentation, like in-house engineers and experts, and the approach that we take. So we would always take when we talk about user acceptance, is phase rollouts, training, support to facilitate the adoption, but then also to provide super users. So we'll train up users within your organizations to be that super user, so that reference point for everybody else. And then on the data and security side, ensuring that we're delivering against standards. So whether that be Cyber Essentials, whether that be ISO, depending on your requirements, ensuring that we've got that process detailed in how we adopt the change. And then, as I've touched on with integration complexity, how do we take the complex, make it more simple, and then run through that process and make sure that we've got everything covered off. And then one slide from me, which I always add into all my presentations. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, there's a little QR code there. I'll leave it up for five or 10 seconds, just so if you do want to just connect with me and follow me on LinkedIn. I've been more than happy to have any conversations or follow-up questions you have. I'll take direct messages on LinkedIn as well. And I will be handing over to Harry for the Q&A and also the insight section here. So Harry, I don't know if you want to run through a quick introduction.
Brilliant.
And then we can go through the Q&A.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Matt. So like Matt said at the introduction, we'll just go through a Q&A. Myself, working for Reliable for 7 years now. I'm an account manager here, and obviously been working with some of the clients that are even on the call. So hopefully we can assist you during this sort of transformation piece. So yeah, if we can move on to this slide, we've got some preloaded questions that I'll go through. We've gathered these from months and years of feedback from our existing clientele, from some pain points and general questions. Obviously, you can see from the get-go a very common one: average cost and potential time for deployment. So yes, fire off with that. Who can best help me answer this?
Happy to kick us off. So yeah, I mean, I've been working with Dynamics now for about 9 years, so certainly taken many clients through the evaluation around what Dynamics can do for them and what they need. And the most common question is, well, how much does it cost? And the answer is it can cost as much or as little really as the scope or as the client budget would allow. And that might sound scary, but actually see it the other way, in the fact that you've got really the opportunity to set your own budget and your own expectations for the project. And what we try to do as part of the pre-sales process is really help clients understand what these costs will look like from a transparent budgeting perspective. So we help clients as part of that BVA that we spoke about, that business value assessment that Microsoft pay for, is to help clients understand what are the ongoing subscriptions, what are the upfront investment in terms of implementation, and what are the support options that they could expect. So before spending any money and before embarking on the journey, you've got a true visible picture of what that looks like.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kurt. Yeah, I think that answers that perfectly. And then moving on to the next one: ongoing management costs compared to other platforms within the sector. I think a key one for many people.
I would probably, Harry, just go back to the first question, just because for Business Central
Yeah.
it can vary. Obviously, Kurt is talking from the sales point of view.
Mhm.
With the average cost, I will not talking about cost, but Business Central always sound like very expensive solution because you are getting enterprise level functionality, but it can really be very affordable, cost effective, and you can also get out of the box solution depending where we meet you as a business on your journey. You can be implemented as fast as 4 weeks. So again, depending what functionality you're looking for or what customization you're looking for as well. On the ongoing management cost compared to other platforms, that's very, very difficult to answer because I wouldn't really know what are the ongoing costs on the other platforms. With regards to Dynamics and Business Central specifically, you will have 3 different costs. One is one-off cost for your implementation, one-off cost or recurring revenue, or sorry, recurring cost for supports, which will support the system, whether it's break, fix, or anything to suggest how to use the system to the best of the ability of the users. And then you have the recurring cost of the licenses. So you'll sort of split it into 3 different costs, but I couldn't tell you the exact cost compared to the other platforms from my side.
And just to jump in there, if you don't mind, in terms of kind of maintenance, wave updates, new functionality, fixing bugs actually in the system itself, kind of separate to, supporting with different elements that we can help with. From a Business Central perspective, there are 2 big wave updates every single year. So that's bringing in new functionality, fixing things that may have been not as great beforehand. So it's important and that comes free of charge. There's no cost for that. It's just once you're in the system, they're going to arrive. You're going to get those changes. So you don't have to be paying for that constant add-on, unless it's what Henrietta was mentioning earlier, where you're kind of bringing in third parties for additional functionality. But it's not that kind of you have to pay for it just for it to work. That's more for that scalability kind of play for what Henrietta discussed earlier on.
Brilliant. Thank you, Henrietta. Thank you, Shannon. And yeah, obviously not an easy answer, especially depending on what you go for. And that's exactly what I'll follow on the next slide with. That free assessment we'll provide. We can get a much greater picture from going through that, short timeline and be able to present you with realistic costs. Because I know that's obviously a big concern is always the finances. But we can always make it work for you, which is the key here with these systems. They're very modular. Okay.
Yeah. And
sorry,
also, sorry, I was just thinking there, of course, when you're on-prem solution versus coming into cloud solution, the cost will drop massively because you don't have a constant updates and backups and storage and breaks and fix and all that type of thing. So that cost will be reduced immediately when you come into cloud or when you move into cloud.
Exactly that. Perfect. All right. So on to the next one. We get a lot of as well. What are the main features that can be used to enhance member engagement? I know we've touched on it loosely throughout the presentation, but it would be good to have a summary. If someone could help me answer that, would be fantastic.
Who's going first?
I think I will leave that with you, Kurt. I think the enhanced member engagement is probably best from your side.
Sure. I think ultimately there's probably 3 main features that sort of encompass everything. One is around membership communications. So we spoke a little bit about it in the presentation, but that is driven from actually having a single member view with all of the right profiling and information data that you want to capture on your member, whether that's when they last came to the club, what they're buying, what membership tier that they have, and that ultimately drives the correct communication strategy to members. So that's probably number 1. Number 2 is around customer service and actually enhancing that by offering self-service. So how do you deal with queries? How do you deal with questions? Can that be automated? Can you enable members to self-serve and effectively manage what they want to achieve? And then the third one, I'm just going to summarize because I know there's definitely a finance piece here, but it's just around, making the operation of the club better, whether that's coming from, the cost management, the operations, the maintenance, all of that kind of back office stuff that happens in the background that hopefully you think members never see, but all of that has to work perfectly in order to, enhance that membership experience. And across those 3 different areas, Dynamics as a platform can deliver services and functions for all of those areas of the club.
Harry,
yeah, yeah.
for the time's sake, we've got 1 minute. I can see that you guys have the question there in your question section. So I just thought maybe just hand that over to you for maybe reading the questions out.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Yes, we've got a question from Catalina. It's a great question. How does Dynamics 365 CRM integrate with existing systems such as our PMS, membership database, and finance software? Are there built-in connectors, or would this require custom integration work?
Yeah, it's a great question. So depending on exactly which pieces of software that you use, Dynamics is a very widely used tool. So it sits in the top right of the Gartner quadrants, and that means that a lot of tailored solutions have built integrations or made API connections available with Dynamics. So part of that BVA process that we spoke about, we can help you to understand the integration capabilities and how that would work. And we always try to use standard connectors. And where that's not possible, we use tools like Azure and Power Automate, which are already part of the Microsoft family. So we really try and stick away from, custom code, as it were.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kurt. And yeah, being cautious of time, let's move on with a nice segue of what Kurt was just mentioning. A big part of the incentive for you joining, again, appreciate you all attending, is the free assessment incentive that we can run through. If you can just scan that QR code, that'll take you to a Microsoft form, be a quick one-page document you can fill out, and then we'll follow up with that free assessment so you can get a big picture of everything we've discussed today. I'll also pop the link in the chat. So yeah, it won't take too long a time. We'll leave that on the screen. And then we can obviously move forward and see how Dynamics 365 can utilize best in your business.
And great. Thanks everyone for attending. Thanks for all the speakers today. It was very insightful. I've got a lot more information than what we've had before. And it looks really good. And then with regards to the assessment, once you fill out that form, we'll also send out an email, of course, with a link to the form itself, but it will enable us to kick off the VBA assessment piece that Kurt's gone through in his slides, and effectively we'll be able to give you a full picture of how Dynamics would look like for your organization, what the deployment phases will look like, and where we can potentially get some quick wins as well. So where we can have an impact and where we can have an outcome as well that effectively either enables you to move away from disparate systems, legacy systems, or how we can interact and engage with some of the other services Katerina's touched on, like membership databases, finance softwares. We'll be able to effectively review whether there's an API, whether there's a connector, whether there's something that we need to build in, but normally there is an API available, and then how we can effectively get all that information required. Again, I'll leave this slide up just for another minute, just in case people want to get their phones out and scan a code, which should take you straight to the page. And just a big thank you for everyone to attending, and everyone will get a copy as well of, and we'll follow up next week with email. So hopefully everyone found it beneficial. And just once again, thanks to all the attendees and presenters. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Have a great weekend.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.